So let's dive into this really haunting tale by Isak Dinesen called The Blue Stones. It's an incredible story, but it's also a serious warning about one of our most destructive emotions, jealousy, and how it can completely poison everything we think we love.
So let me ask you this. Can jealousy literally make you blind? Now, I know it sounds like just a metaphor, right? But in this story, the symbolic and the literal, well, they're about to crash into each other in a really tragic and unforgettable way.
Okay, so to really get this story, you've got to understand what an allegory is. It's basically a story that's working on two levels at once. You have the surface plot, what's happening on the face of it, but then there's this deeper, symbolic story underneath about human nature. And that second layer, that's where all the real meaning is hiding.
Our story kicks off with what looks like, the perfect picture of love and devotion.
So you've got this ship's captain, and he is just head over heels in love with his wife. So much so that he commissions a figurehead, that carved sculpture on the front of a ship, to be her exact replica. He even names the entire vessel after her. It's this huge, beautiful tribute to their love that's going to travel the whole world.
And right away, we can see the allegory at work here. See, the figurehead isn't just a wooden carving. It's a huge public symbol of the husband's love. And the precious blue stones he puts in its eyes, they're not just jewels. No, they represent the very life, the precious vitality of their relationship.
But you know how it goes. Where there is great love, a shadow can sometimes fall. The wife, she doesn't see this amazing tribute the same way her husband does. And this is where the conflict really starts to ignite.
Instead of feeling honored, the wife gets eaten up by this really twisted jealousy. She looks at the statue not as a tribute, but as a rival, a perfect, unchanging version of herself that gets to travel with her husband while she's stuck at home. She just resents all the attention it gets.
Her jealousy becomes so possessive, so all-consuming, that she literally cannot stand the thought of the figurehead's eyes seeing these magnificent ports and far-off shores, sights that she herself will never get to see. And this resentment, well, it fuels a truly disastrous decision.
And this is where the story hits its turning point. The wife's private jealousy is about to turn into a destructive, secret, and irreversible action.
Now, this wasn't some impulsive, heat-of-the-moment thing. Oh no, this was calculated. First, she waits for her husband to be gone, out at sea. Then, she secretly hires a craftsman, and she has him commit this act of deep betrayal. He pries out those precious blue stones and replaces them with cheap, worthless pieces of colored glass.
The symbolism here is it's absolutely crucial. She replaces something real, something authentic and valuable with a hollow fake. From far away, sure, the glass might look the same, but it holds none of the original meaning or value. She has corrupted the very symbol of his love for her.
An act like that cannot go without consequence. And in an allegory, the consequences are often deeply, poetically tied to the original crime itself.
Almost immediately after those stones are replaced, a strange and terrible thing begins to happen to the wife. Her own eyesight starts to fail. The world around her gets dim, then blurry. She is quite literally going blind.
And this, right here, is the heart of the allegory. Her physical blindness is a direct manifestation of her symbolic blindness. In her jealousy, she completely failed to see the truth of her husband's love. She couldn't perceive the incredible value of what she already had. By taking the eyes from his tribute to her, she has forfeited her own.
But the consequences don't stop with her, not even close. Her betrayal has set in motion a chain of events that is going to lead to absolute catastrophe.
Far out at sea, a massive storm hits, and the ship, now symbolically blind without its precious guiding eyes, is lost. It crashes against the rocks, and the captain and his entire crew, they're lost to the sea. The destruction is total.
So the path to ruin is now crystal clear. It starts with jealousy, which made her replace something valuable with a cheap imitation. That act of betrayal then leads to her own loss of perception, her blindness. And that inability to see the truth ultimately leads to the complete destruction of everything she should have held dear. The relationship just couldn't survive the lie.
So in the end, what did her jealousy achieve? She's left completely alone, physically blind, in a world that she herself has shattered. The very thing she was afraid of, being left behind by her husband, is the exact reality she created for herself permanently.
The story leaves us with this pretty chilling question to think about. What are the blue stones in our own lives? You know, the relationships, the trust, the good things we have that we might be in danger of replacing with worthless, empty glass.